Many first-time parents are wondering, what do I need to buy for my baby? And of course, you want to have everything prepared and ready so when you bring your baby home from the hospital, everything's there. In those first few weeks of life, there's only a few things you need, and they have to do with feeding, changing, and clothing. So anything after that, you can go to the store and get. Hopefully you live close to a store, and you'll just realize little things here and there that you need to get. But I have formulated a list for you that will hopefully be helpful as you prepare for the birth of your baby. You did mention clothing, and all of this is mostly coming from experience as a mom, not necessarily as a nurse. These are things that I found helpful. As far as clothing items go, onesies, sleepers, and gowns, the ones that just have the elastic band around the bottom, they're really helpful at night because you don't have to undress your baby totally to change their diaper. So those are really good for the first few weeks of life. And then socks to help keep their little feet warm, and maybe even to put over their hands so they don't scratch their face. And then a couple of nice outfits because of course you're going to go places and show off your baby, and so you'll want to dress them up really cute. And then diapers, like you mentioned, wipes, and along the lines of diapers, don't buy too many newborn diapers because sometimes moms go overboard and buy a ton of newborn diapers, but then they deliver their baby and they were 8.5 pounds and they don't even fit in newborn diapers. So just buy a package or two, keep the receipt, and for sure have some size 1s available because your baby will grow into them very quickly. And then wipes. And of course, like you mentioned, you'll need a car seat, and there's tons of different kinds on the market, and they're all great, so it really doesn't matter which one you pick. Just be leery of buying used ones because you don't necessarily know where it's been, if it's been in a car accident, if it's expired, both of which can affect the integrity of the material. And so it's best on your first baby, especially, to make the investment and buy one that's brand new, and you can use it for a couple of kids. Strollers are great to have, and of course you'll need a crib or a place for your baby to sleep. And in the first few months of life, it's recommended that babies sleep in the same room as mom and dad, but not in the same bed. So have a pack and play, a crib, or a bassinet, something at your bedside to put your baby in at night. And then the appropriate bedding. It's actually recommended by the American Academy of Pediatrics that you keep all extra soft, fluffy things out of the baby sleeping area for the first year. So those bumper pads and all the cute, fluffy things we put in our baby's beds should not be there. So no stuffed animals, no pillows, no extra blankets, just the blanket that you're using to keep your baby warm, and no bumper pads again for the first year. Just a flat, mattress with a fitted sheet is totally fine, and that's all your baby needs. Sensitive laundry detergent, because baby's skin can be very sensitive and they can react to normal detergents that we might use for our clothes. Mild soaps, shampoos, and lotions. Diaper rash cream, and what you're looking for is something that has zinc oxide in it, and the thicker the better. It's just good to have it on hand because it's inevitable. Almost every baby will get diaper rash at some point. A diaper bag to put all of these goodies in, and then toys are not necessarily something a baby's going to want to play with till they're a little bit older, but it's nice to have them on hand because as they start to get a little bit older and to their cognitive ability is developing, then you have them available to show your baby and see if they react. And so a couple of toys are nice to have, but not necessary in the beginning. And then feeding supplies. If you're breastfeeding, that you don't really need much of anything, but it might be nice to have a pump on hand because sometimes you feel engorged, your baby didn't eat well, and you need to pump some milk off. And so a pump might be helpful, but I would recommend buying that after your baby's born if breastfeeding ends up being an issue and you decide you need a pump. If you're planning on bottle feeding, obviously you'll need bottles and those sorts of things. Binkies, the hospital will likely provide you with one, but then there's also others you can buy at the grocery store. And then a thermometer is always good to have on hand because if your baby starts to get a fever, it's important to check their temperature and let the doctor know what it was. And then they'll send you home with a blue bulb syringe from the hospital. And this is good because it helps you get all the extra secretions out of your baby's nasal passage. They're not able to clear their little nostrils on their own, and so we need to do it for them, and sometimes they get a little congested. So you can go to the store, buy some nasal saline drops and put a couple in each nostril and suck out those extra secretions with the bulb syringe. So that's always good to have on hand as well. That's a good start. That will give you most of the things that you need. But if at any time you have any other questions for me, I'd love to help you out. Feel free to ask them on our Facebook page and recommend us to your friends and family too.